morning, eighth graders. This is our week 20 technology class, so welcome. So just really quick, I'll go over the typing. So this week you do have a new typing assignment. It's the speed drills. So this is our third assignment so far in the third quarter. So please make sure, I know I say the same thing every week, but please make sure that you're keeping up with these assignments and that you are getting them done every week. It's an easy way to get 100. Okay. All right. So this week we're actually going to spend time in one of our, well, it's actually 2 second step lessons, but I feel like they're really relevant for just what we are all going through right now, because I know you guys, you're on remote this week. Maybe some of you guys are happy about that. Maybe some of you guys are not, are really angry and like extra stressed out. I don't know. Everybody kind of deals with things in different ways. And so we're going to actually be talking about a couple of things. We're going to be talking about when we have strong emotions, how can we handle them and how can we cope in a healthy way? And we're also going to be talking about stress, because I feel like stress is something that we're all dealing with, especially now more than ever. Like, you know, look, last week we started off the week in school, we ended the week that we're remote, right? And so it's like things happen and they change minute by minute, and we kind of have to just learn how to go with the flow and how to deal with stress in a healthy way, right? So that's really what we're going to be focusing on this week. And I hope that it will help you guys to really just evaluate and ask yourself, gosh, like, how do I deal with stress? You know, what do I do? Are the things that I'm doing, like, are they unhealthy or are they healthy, right? And then maybe help you come up with some ideas of how to deal with it. So, of course, there are some videos that go along with it. So let me put on the first one. This is talking about strong emotions.
So, yesterday I was really angry. And then after that I was happy. And then a little afraid. And then I was frustrated. And then I was embarrassed. And anyway, my point is that yesterday was like any other day. I felt a lot of different emotions. We all do. And with every emotion, our bodies have a reaction. Have you ever noticed that when you get really angry, you also get really warm? Or your mouth goes dry, or maybe you have a hard time thinking clearly? Why is that? When you feel strong emotions, what's happening inside your brain and your body? Suppose someone walked up to you and said,
"Becca's telling everyone you did really bad at basketball tryouts. She said you were the worst one there."
How would that make you feel? And what would happen inside your brain and body when you felt it? Let's take a look. Welcome to your brain. Our trip starts here at the amygdala. It's part of the primitive, automatic part of your brain. The part that runs things that we don't do consciously, like breathing or making our heart beat. Think of the amygdala as your feelings alarm. Whenever your brain gets input that is emotional, it sends it here. Your feelings alarm is automatic, and it's always set to go off instantly.
Becca's telling everyone you did really bad at basketball tryouts.
Uh-oh. Somebody's getting angry. Let me show you what happens. Stress hormones are released, sending adrenaline rushing through your body. Your heart beats faster and pumps more blood to your muscles and brain. Your breathing becomes faster, maybe even ragged. Your mouth and throat can feel dry and tight. Sometimes your body's reaction is so strong that your stomach or your head hurts, or you feel shaky. You might even feel like you're losing control. At this point, you're probably not thinking very clearly. That's not surprising. The amygdala can't think at all. That's not its job. Luckily, it also sends a message to the thinking part of your brain. Hey, cortex, wake up! You've got an emotion to deal with. This is your cortex. It's the gray matter all folded in nooks and crannies that covers the outside of your brain. Like I said, it's the thinking part of your brain. The first thing the thinking part of your brain does is try to figure out the situation. What is the emotion? And what should I do about it? The thinking part of your brain doesn't work quite as fast as the automatic part. Sometimes, the thinking part of your brain gets overwhelmed. Your emotions take over and you end up doing or saying something you might regret later.
Becca's telling everyone you did really bad at basketball tryouts. She said you were the worst one there.
Since this part of your brain handles language, you can send yourself a word signal to get your attention. It's an effective way to put on the brakes. Pause the action. Get your own attention.
Calm down.
Now that you've got your attention, it's easier to start thinking in a positive way. You might already be experiencing some rather unpleasant thoughts about Becca. That's why you should think twice before you do something you'll be sorry about.
I'm getting very mad. But do I really know what happened? Did Becca really say that?
She's starting to get herself under control, but it looks like it could go either way.
Okay, so this is, I feel like, a good example. And I think if you guys remember back to 6th grade and 7th grade, we learned about our brains, right? And how they work, and how when we're just really using the amygdala, which is basically going off of our emotions and our feelings, we can end up in a pretty bad place, right? Because we might say or do things that we end up regretting. It can cause bigger problems. And so we really have to learn how to stop ourselves and calm down, so that way we can use our thinking part of the brain, right? The cortex. And that really is important, I believe, nowadays, probably more than ever, because people are just kind of like, just at the snap of a finger, they snap at people, right? Like you have all these things that are going on, and somebody comes over to you or something happens, and you're just like, what do you need? What do you want? Right? And you just snap. Maybe it's at your family, maybe it's at a friend, right? And so we have to learn really how to calm down. And so some great ways to calm down are doing something physical, right? Going for a walk, going for a run, right? Doing some physical exercise, jumping jacks, things like that, to really just help to alleviate some of these feelings, get them out of us, right? Let them out. And so then that way you can think clearly. Doing something relaxing, like maybe just listening to music, or just, having a quiet moment, praying, something like that. And of course, you can't always do these things, like if you're in the middle of class, but you can do them maybe after, right? And so you do have to just learn. I mean, if it's a situation that's escalating to the point where you think you're going to explode, then you may just need to excuse yourself, right? So that you can calm down. Something else that I want to talk about is self-talk, right? This is so important. The voice in our head, what we say to ourselves, if we're constantly going negative, right? Where we're just like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this just happened. And I can't even believe that person just did that. And I can't believe I have all this. And it's just negative, 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 negative. It's probably going to be a lot harder for you to escape, right? Those strong emotions. But positive self-talk is when you come up with things that you can remind yourself and say, hey, you know what? Okay, today was a little bit crazy, but I'm going to get through this. I'll make a list of everything I need to do, and like everything will be okay. Like you're just kind of saying things that are positive to help yourself to get through whatever it is that's happening to you, right? Okay, so let me put on the next video clip.
I'm getting very mad. But do I really know what happened? Did Becca really say that? It sounds like her. She can be so mean. I bet she's telling everybody. I tried really hard at basketball tryouts.
Kayla told me that Becca was telling everyone in math class that you were the worst one at tryouts.
Who does she think she is? You're way better than her at basketball.
You've been so nice to her. I thought she was your friend.
I saw her talking to Brad and Jamal at lunch. They were laughing.
She's always saying mean things. Someone should shut her mouth for her.
Oh my gosh, there's Becca.
Okay, So friends or other people can be part of the problem or be part of the solution, right? And I know this, if we were together and we were talking about this, I'm sure you guys would have a million stories about times when these types of things have happened to you. Maybe you thought somebody was, doing something, or you heard them say something, you made an assumption, right? And then you're all stressed out about it. I mean, I feel like relational problems are definitely things that happen to all of us, right? But it's just for us to really learn how to keep ourselves calm and be able to think twice, right? Which is what they call it. So when you think twice, what you do is you have your first thought, which might sound a little bit off or crazy, or maybe kind of based off your strong emotion. And then you stop yourself and you think again, and you're just like, okay, is this just me kind of overreacting, or is this just my emotions, right? Because you live with yourself, so you know yourself best. And so you do have to learn really how to talk to yourself and calm yourself down and stay in control. So some questions that I have for you guys are, I want you to share. So this is just kind of going to be like a good week for you. This assignment isn't definitely by no way meant to be like a stressful big assignment. It's just to get like kind of a self-reflection week. So when I get angry, so share kind of what do you typically do, and why is it important to stay in control when you're experiencing strong emotions? So think about that. And then list the 5 calming down strategies. So what are some ways that you can calm down? And then next time you're feeling a strong emotion like anger, share a calming down strategy that you will use. So this will be good for you to really just think about this right now for where you're at. What can you do when you're feeling a strong emotion? How can you handle it? Okay. And so some of the steps that I didn't actually read these to you, but notice, pause, and think twice. So notice that you're getting out of control. Pause yourself. So again, if you need to remove yourself from the situation, excuse me, I need a moment, and walk away. And then think twice about it, right? Go through your thoughts and try and calm yourself down by talking to yourself, right? So this is really important. It's important for adults too, but it's great if you guys can get a hold of these skills, because they really, really help you to stay in control no matter what's going on. And that leads us into the next part, which is lesson 9, where we're learning about stress, right? So you see, here's this kid and he's got chores, he has a test, he has baseball practice, friend problems, hallway hassles, big project, job, homework, bad cold. Oh my goodness. So those would be all signs of stress, and he needs to learn how to stay in control. And let me just quickly, hang on. I wanted to show you guys the poster. So these are the 5 steps for staying in control. Notice, so recognize your physical and mental signs, right? You're getting hot, your heart is racing, headache, stomach ache, you're thinking crazy things. Pause yourself, right? Think twice, and then calm down. Use a calm down strategy, and then reflect. How did that work out? Do I need to do it a little bit differently the next time, or did it go well? So these would be the 5 steps that you would use. So I know I asked you for those, the 5 calming down strategies. So they're right there on this poster. Okay, so let's move into talking about stress. Okay, so I'll put on the little video clip that they have.
How was it getting? It was really scary me. Oh man. Alright. Well, do you think it'd be good?
I was just about to tell my boyfriend Chris about this really funny thing that happened in English class when I saw him talking to Kirsten. I think she likes him, and it makes me really mad when I see them talking and laughing together. I know they're friends and everything, but I do get jealous, especially when it looks like they're having a really good time together. Well, my heart really began to race, and I could feel myself getting angry. I was just about to go over there and say something mean when I decided to use this easy breathing technique I had just learned. It really calms you down. So I stopped for a second and took a few long deep breaths into my stomach like this. It's pretty easy. You just breathe in through your nose and your stomach moves outward. Then you exhale through your mouth. Repeat this a few times and it really calms you down. Here's the reason why. When you take long, deep breaths from your diaphragm, you trigger a nerve that controls your heartbeat. The vagus nerve goes all the way from your brainstem, past your heart, and through your gut. Taking deep breaths and exhaling triggers this nerve where it passes your diaphragm muscles and signals your heart to slow down. When you start to calm down, you can think and focus more clearly. It took less than a minute and I calmed down pretty quickly. I could feel my anger fade away. Then Chris saw me and came over.
Hey, Jenny. So I was talking to Kirsten about this new cool movie that she saw.
Oh, yeah?
And I was wondering if you want to go see it with me on Saturday.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right, sweet. It's so scary. I'm not sure what it's called.
Okay, so obviously a little bit dramatic with these videos, but it's pretty much teaching you about the centered breathing. So I know that we've learned this in other years, previous years, but it might seem silly, right? The deep breathing, but it actually really does, like it showed in the video, help to slow your heart. So if you're ever feeling super stressed, you feel your heart racing, try to take a few deep breaths. They really do work to help physically calm you down. And once you are calmed down, it helps you to think more clearly. Okay, so we're going to be doing this little exercise. You're going to respond to stress in a survey. So if you're going to read what it says, so I'll show you guys. And if this is something that you often do, you'll put 2 points. If you sometimes do it, you'll put 1 point. And if you never do it, you'll put 0. So I'll show you what they are. So we're just trying to figure out how you respond to stress. Do something physical for a few minutes to calm down, like playing a sport, walking, running, then refocus on the situation. Do you often do this? Sometimes or never. So you would put a 2, a 1, or a 0. Take my mind off the situation completely by listening to music or reading. So again, you would rate it 2, 1, or 0. Blame myself. Drink some alcohol. I sure hope that nobody is doing that, but believe it or not, people do cope this way. And you may know people in your family that cope by doing that. Do some centered breathing, which I should go back to that. Towards the end of the year, well, actually probably might be at the end of the 3rd quarter. I don't know yet, but we're going to be actually going over drug and alcohol use, okay? And just what that looks like and how to respond to it if you're being pressured. That is our last unit in 2nd step. So, because this is definitely an unhealthy way to cope with things, would be using drugs or alcohol, right? Okay, and if you do have something going on with that, obviously, please reach out to me. I want to help you, right? And I'm here to support you. Do some centered breathing to stay in control. Talk to a friend about the situation and get support. Worry a lot. Focus on solving the problem. Ignore the problem. Don't tell anybody about it. Tell myself I can handle it. Talk to a trusted adult. Daydream that the problem has gone away. Do nothing. Put energy into working hard and feeling good that I achieved something, or pretend it isn't happening. So you're going to go through each of these. If it's something that you often do, put a 2. If you sometimes do it, put a 1. And if you never do that, then put a 0. Okay. And then we're going to, after you do that, we're going to talk about avoiding and coping. So avoiding is pretty much the stressful situation is unchanged and you feel worse. So if you're avoiding something, like if we went on to the list here, probably blaming yourself, you're not really fixing anything, you're just avoiding it, right? Or worrying, it's probably avoiding it. You're not really doing anything. Ignoring the problem, obviously you're avoiding it. So you're just gonna type, you could put an A or a C for avoid or cope. Coping, on the other hand, the stressful situation will change and you'll feel better. So some examples of coping, maybe doing something physical, doing the centered breathing, talking to a friend, right? And so that would be something where you're coping in a healthy way, okay? So I want you guys to assess this week. So this will be good because you'll fill this out and I'll take a look at this. And it'll help me to see where you're at and kind of what you are using. How do you respond to stress? And it'll help you to see how you're responding to stress. And maybe it'll help you think, maybe I need to make a change. Maybe something that I'm doing, you know, isn't actually working. It's not a good idea. And I should do something different, right? And so that is definitely something that you want to be focusing on this week to help yourself be able to deal with things in a healthy way, right? Okay, so let's see what else. Okay, so we can't obviously do anything with partners, and that is the end. So the last two questions here are, what is something you could do more of to help you cope in a healthy way? And then what is something you could do less of because it is unhealthy or avoiding the situation? So please think about this. Some other things that aren't on here on the list that some people do, self-harm, right? Like cutting, maybe not eating, or maybe overeating, those types of things. Those would all be considered unhealthy coping, right? Avoiding the problem and just kind of covering it up through these ways, right? And so obviously, again, I really care about you guys. And so if you are, you know, self-harming in any way, please reach out to me so that we can talk about it. We can come up with a plan to help you deal with stress in a healthy way. Some other things, gosh, you know, I should actually just add it onto the chart. So I'm going to put, let me see if I can do it. I'll probably, so I'll add self-harm. This might include cutting. Another one might be overeating or not eating. Another one might even be, I could say, distracting yourself with technology, right? And I'll put in parentheses, social media. I feel like a lot of people do that, right? They're like, oh, I'm so stressed. And they're just like on their phone, like let me just watch some TikTok videos. And that can be positive if you do it for a little bit and then you go back to what you need to be doing. But if you're just doing it and you're just completely avoiding whatever the thing is and nothing's getting better, it's just distracting you, then obviously that's going to be avoiding. It's not really helping you get anywhere, right? And maybe I'll also put in another thing, other, just in case, and you can fill it in if I'm missing anything. But these would all definitely be things that I believe people do. They do them. So rate yourself. You be totally honest. I'm the only one looking at this and I don't share it with anybody. And please reach out to me, guys, this week. If you're going through something, if you're stressed out with school or something at home, a personal issue, you know I'm here for you. We can meet on Zoom. We can talk one-on-one, confidential. I don't share with anybody. You can have a safe place to share anything that's going on. Okay, so I'm here for you. So I don't know. I just really felt like this lesson was so important this week because I feel like things have been changing so quickly, and it just feels like the weeks just zoom by, and we just keep going, and we really just need to check in and see how's everything really going, right? And how are you doing? And so just be honest with this. So this homework is more like a self-assessment, self-reflection type thing. So you can type all your things in. You can send it to me. So again, there's really no right or wrong answer on this homework. It's more just self-reflecting, right? And oh, I should even add in, of course, I mean, gosh, we're Christians here, but I sure hope maybe praying should be on here, right? Praying, reading your Bible. Obviously, I hope that that's something, if you are dealing with something, that can be a great way to deal with stress, right? Because God is always there for us and can bring us peace through anything that we're going through, right? Okay, So I don't want to make this too long because then that's stressful. You have a long thing to watch. So I'm just going to end here. So don't forget about your typing. If you're behind on anything, catch up this week. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here for you guys. And have a good week. Okay, bye guys.